I hadn't seen a sunrise in a long time, but what a place to see one again. First photo of the day is gonna be a 4-minute long exposure of this stunningly beautiful place that you gotta see. And that is just that side of the beach, because the other side is probably even more beautiful. So I'm in France, I'm in Étretat, I think that's how you pronounce it. I've been driving from since I left Norway almost non-stop, and I decided to just spend a couple of nights here to take a break, but also to photograph this beautiful spot right here. Exposure is finished. I had my doubts about coming here. I was in Germany yesterday. I was snowing. It was beautiful. The landscapes look beautiful. I went for a quick walk at the town where I was staying, but I mean, I wish I had more time there. And I was doubting my decision of coming to a more iconic location like this one, where a lot of people have already come over the years and made hundreds of thousands of photographs. But I mean, look at this. These locations are iconic for a reason. It's just beautiful here. I'm gonna have a lot of fun on my only day here. I'm gonna have to make the most of it because I won't have a second chance tomorrow. So let's go. So this is my first attempt at capturing the famous arch over there. I'm using this rock in the foreground. I'm shooting this at 1.4. I know this is not what you are supposed to do, but I want to have that in focus and just hint that the arch is in the background. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. The light is not ideal. Today was supposed to be cloudy and rainy, but of course we have partly cloudy skies, and now the sun is hitting the arch itself, so I might have to repeat this photo later. Anyway, as I said, this is an iconic location that has been photographed millions of times by many photographers, most of them much better than me. So why am I here? What am I trying to do? What do I expect to accomplish by coming here? Well, those are very good questions that I hope to answer in this video, and hopefully by the end of the day I'll have at least one image that, even though it's going to be similar to the ones that have already been made here, because of course the location is what it is, I can't change that. I'm hoping that it will have that little thing that says this is one of my photos, one of my images, and hopefully I can put a little bit of me, a little bit of my vision into that photograph. That's my hope. I love a rocky beach because it's one thing less that you have to worry about. The sand, there is plenty to worry about with the water, the waves, the tides, and making sure that they're not gonna take your tripod, camera bag, or whatever, like it's happened to me in the past. Anyway, the day is getting prettier and more beautiful. It's getting cloudier, so that is gonna make for amazing photography here. I am working on a different composition now of this other side of the other arch there. It's very simple. It's just using the shoreline as a leading line to the arch. I'm shooting this with my 85mm lens at 1.4 again. So what that is going to do here is going to have the whole foreground out of focus, and then at least the part of the foreground that is closer to the camera, but then slowly, gradually is gonna get more in focus as it gets closer to the arch. And I think that helps the eye, and that helps guiding the eye through the frame. That helps the viewer to focus their attention on the actual subject that is the arch. I know that in landscape photography, the right approach is to have as much as possible in focus, because again, the goal there is probably to capture the scene as accurately as possible. That is not what I'm trying to do with my photography most of the time. One funny thing about this lens is that I don't have a ring adapter to hold my ND filters with it, or I do, but they are stuck. It's a long story, but anyway, I don't have a good way to have my to hold my ND filters there, so they're just literally hanging from the lens, and you can see them moving with the wind. I don't know if that's gonna make the image blurry. I might have to retake it again. So yeah, I need to buy a ring adapter for this lens. I just moved a little bit farther down the beach and turned around again to photograph the main arch. I'm using the 50mm lens now. It's gonna be a couple minute long exposure. The problem with long exposures is that they take a long time. I've been here for almost 2 hours now, and I've only taken 3 or 4 photos, and the problem is that I'm running out of time because I only paid for a couple hours at the parking where I left the car. So I'm gonna have to go back and maybe pay for a little bit more time, or just move to a different location. I was hoping to be done here and be able to go somewhere else, but I don't know. I think I can still do more things from here. I'm not really sure. Hopefully this exposure will be done soon, and I can work on a couple more before heading back to the car. By the way, the reason why I'm using prime lenses for my long exposures is not just to shoot at 1.4, but it's because they are much more stable in windy conditions. It's not very windy right now, but it's still, there is like a breeze, and that moves the camera a little bit and the lens. And when I'm shooting long exposures at the long focal length, and this one is done, sorry, like 50 or especially 85. If I were to use the zoom lens, I have to extend it, and it would be, you know, much bigger than the actual prime lens. Any tiny vibration on the tripod or the camera is gonna make the image blurry, and we don't want that. I'm out of time. I hope I don't have a ticket, but yeah, 2 hours was not nearly enough here. But yeah, I have to head back to the car, and I'm gonna keep driving around here to see if I find anything interesting, and if I don't, I can always come back here later. My problem this morning was, as it usually is that I get caught up with the first thing that I see, and I start working on it, And actually the good spot here was farther down, but it was too late for me to realize about that. I'm 10 minutes late. Crossing fingers. Oh, all right, I'm glad I didn't get a ticket, and I'm glad that this was such a beautiful morning. I was hoping to have this kind of weather, and I do, so I have to make the most of it. Again, a very iconic location, photographed millions of times before me, but I like these places. I like to visit them. There's this idea that every photographer has to be original in every image that they make. I totally disagree with that. I love going to places where photographers I admire have been before. I love to put myself in their shoes and see what they saw and maybe feel what they felt, and to think about why they capture the scene the way they did. I didn't do much research about this place coming here. I had seen some photos online, magazines, or on Instagram, all of them in color, and I knew that this place was iconic and it was going to be beautiful. It was on my way down to Spain. It's just a little detour, maybe an hour or so. I thought, why not? It's kind of in the middle of the drive, and I can take a break and take some cool photos of a place I've never been to, and that's why I'm here. I'm very glad that I came here. I have no idea if other photographers, black and white photographers, have been here before and have made the images that I made this morning. I'm sure they have, and that's totally fine. I don't know, some people are very negative about cliché photos, but I personally believe that it's even more cliché to avoid taking cliché photos than taking the cliché photos themselves. I'm here, and that arch is what is catching my eye. It's the beautiful thing, the thing that takes all the attention. So, of course, I'm going to photograph that. Not doing so because someone else had done it before me would not be very authentic of myself. It could be trying to force being original, trying to find something that I don't see, that I don't feel, just because someone else happened to be here before me. And that is not the way I like to work. That is not the way I work. And yeah, I'm gonna take the cliche photos, try to make them a little bit different, and try to add my personal theme. But that is what I do with every image that I take, no matter if it's in an iconic location or in the middle of nowhere where no one has taken a photo before. And that is my opinion about photographing iconic locations. There is absolutely nothing wrong with them. Go to them, visit them, enjoy them, photograph them, and share your pictures online, even if they are similar to the ones that are already out there. Just do it. But of course, don't take photographs only at iconic locations. Try to find beauty anywhere you are. I can park here for free, so I might just leave the car here and walk back to town later. Why not? Alright, let's go back to town. Should be a nice and short walk. It was cold this morning. It was 0 degrees. There was a bunch of ice on the car, but it's warmed up quite a bit now. I might get too hot with this coat. But anyway, a totally unrelated story, but a funny one that happened yesterday. As I told you, I drove from Germany to here to France. I drove through the Netherlands and Belgium, but it was when I got to France that there was a control there, and the French police stopped me. I got stopped quite a few times on this trip. Not really sure why. Maybe it's the box on the roof. But anyway, they started asking me questions, especially after they saw the bed and all the bags that I have in the back of the car. And I told them, that I'm coming from Norway from a few months there of photography and that I'm a photographer. And yeah, they were looking at each other, not really believing what I was telling them. And they were asking for a card. And I don't have a card, but I can show you my Instagram account if you want. I have all the photos that I made this month in Norway there. So I pull out my phone and show them a few photos on Instagram, and then they let me go. That was interesting. All right, 4-minute long exposure done. Hopefully it worked out. I think so. I might need to adjust the composition a little bit, but the idea here is pretty simple. It was a 4-minute long exposure, basically because there is a lot of people around here, but the composition was pretty simple. That church on the right side of the frame, and then that path that leads to the arch that we saw earlier from the beach. It's a beautiful view here. I'm sure it's even better from there, but there is like a whole TV crew right there filming, so I'm just waiting and just taking this photo in the meanwhile. One more shot from here, again of the same arch. I was hoping to get the, there is a needle behind the arch. I was hoping to get both without overlapping, but it's not possible from here. Maybe from farther down from that other cliff, we'll see. But what I'm trying to do right now is with the 85, trying to get as close as possible to that arch. I am placing it on the top of the frame and leaving a lot of room on the bottom to show hopefully a little bit of the reflection and to give it a little bit of breathing room there too. I'd rather do that than showing more of the sky. I don't know why I like to usually show more ground than sky. I think that emphasizes the subject more. It makes it more dominant in the frame. If you show a lot of the sky, it makes the sky more dominant. Maybe that's the reason. That'd be a very, very bad fall. Beautiful. The path keeps going. It doesn't really reach the beach because you're not supposed to be there because of the cliffs. But yeah, I don't really see photographs here in black and white because all of this part of the cliff is very dark. So it'd be just like silhouette against nothing, just the sky, and the sky is kind of boring too. So I'm gonna try the arch again because from here the arch and the needle do not overlap, as I was talking about earlier. This is one of those times when I really miss having the screen, because the viewfinder is just not enough for here. Ah, the battery died. Well, I only have one more left. And it's dead too. So I'm gonna have to use this camera. Yeah, having a screen in a situation like this makes your life so much easier. Anyway, I'm trying to take this photo. I'm not sure about this one. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I gotta try. Looks good to me. I hope the audio is okay, but yeah, I'm gonna take that picture right there of that cliff and the arch in the background. I'm gonna show you the screen. So it's a pretty simple reflections. I'm using the rule of thirds. That's the grid line that I have here. The cliff is gonna be on the taking on all the left third part of the frame. Then in the middle, we're gonna have a little bit of the cliff and the arch right on the 2/3 line, and a lot of empty space here on the bottom right to again, as I said earlier, to make that arch feel a little bit more dominant in the landscape. That's the idea. The sun is out now. That's too bad because it was the perfect day for photography until half an hour ago or so. Anyway, so how to be original at iconic locations? It is very easy. Just don't sweat it, don't think about it. Be yourself. Take the photos that you could take if that place was not iconic. I don't know, it might help if you don't look at a lot of photographs of the places before visiting them, if you don't do a lot of research. I did almost zero research about Norway. Of course, I knew about the Lofoten Islands and a little bit about Senja, and I knew that there were fjords and that they were supposed to be pretty, but that's pretty much it. The same applies to this place. I knew that the arch was here, and that was it. I knew that it was going to be cool, and I was going to find images here. So maybe embracing a little bit more of uncertainty and maybe just going with the flow might help. But again, I don't think that being original, that meaning being different from other photographers, is that important. It is my opinion that trying to be different for the sake of being different is actually worse than taking the same photos that everyone is taking, because they are taking them for a reason, because the place is beautiful. If we don't take those photos because other people are taking them, we are actually being more influenced by other people than they are. How I wish I was sleeping in the car tonight, because it's a beautiful, I mean, it's very loud here next to the highway, but it's a beautiful, foggy, very dense fog day. But I have a place for tonight that I can't cancel, and it's 5 hours away, so I have to keep driving. Anyway, I forgot to record a proper ending for the video yesterday. This is the following day. I didn't do much more photography after I left you because the day got very sunny and the light was harsh. And I forgot there was a game, a soccer game, the World Cup happening. Spain was playing at 4 p.m. just during sunset time, so perfect time. But anyway, I went back to the Airbnb to watch the game. It was totally not worth it because Spain lost. Congratulations, Morocco. Now I'm rooting for you. I would also like to thank all my patrons for their support. They made this trip possible, so thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Next time I see you, it's gonna be probably still from here from France. It's a big country. Thanks for watching and see you then.